Beginning Greek. This is Dr. Hill. I'm so excited to get a chance to meet you guys in a couple of weeks. Just a little bit of an introduction to the course and a little bit about me. So this is Beginning Greek. This is the beginning of your career with the Greek New Testament. And I have been studying the New Testament for quite some time. Did a master's degree at Fuller as well as a PhD with Marianne Mai Thompson. I did my doctoral work in the book of Hebrews. And so have taught Greek at Fuller for a number of years. And so really looking forward to meeting with you all. We are doing this in a unique class setting. I have not taught this way before. It's a hybrid in the sense that we will have in-person class as well as those that are taking part online. So we will actually have a synchronous Zoom meeting that is going on while we have in-class instruction. So it's a brave new world, and we are going to lean into it and enjoy it. So a couple things just about how I think, some things about how to deal with the required texts of the class and whether you go analog or digital. And one of the things about Greek and your Greek career is there's always going to be a little tension between analog and digital. So let me talk a little bit about what I think you're going to need to buy and what's on the syllabus. Okay, so the first thing is this. This book, The Basics of Biblical Greek, by William Mounce, as we will affectionately refer to him as Uncle Bill. One of the pastors that I worked with is the nephew of Bill Mounce, and so he called him Uncle Bill, and I just leaned into it and loved that we get to hang out with Uncle Bill. So Basics of Biblical Greek, this is the 4th edition. So we need the 4th edition. So whatever you're purchasing, don't buy the 3rd edition or the 2nd edition, buy the 4th edition. I learned Greek actually in the 1st edition of this and taught Greek in the 2nd and 3rd editions and now the 4th edition. So embrace change. It's a beautiful thing. So I would urge you to buy this in a paper version, an analog version, okay? Similarly, I would urge you to buy this workbook that goes with it. The way we're going to be interacting with the Greek New Testament in this course is essentially from this workbook. The workbook has exercises as well as simply all of the translations that come within it are from the Greek New Testament, some from the Septuagint as well. So the Greek New Testament, that's how we're going to interact with it here in the workbook. These two things I would urge that you buy the paper copies of, okay? Another thing that I'm going to urge you to buy, it's not on the required texts, but I will urge you to buy it, are the set of flashcards for that go along with the book. Now, when I went through Greek, when I took Greek as a seminarian, I made my own flashcards, and they were great, but they took a lot of time. And I also didn't include a lot of the information that's on these. These come ready to go. I would also urge you to get some rings and just some things that you can use to, I have a little system of how I go through this. And the nice thing about these, and I think with Zondervan, you can download an app on your phone to do flashcards, but I would urge you to buy these so that when you're driving in your car, you can flip your flashcards over one at a time, and you won't get pulled over and a ticket for using your phone. Anyway, practical things that we learn in seminary. Okay, now the other thing that you're going to need in your career in seminary is you're going to need access to a Greek New Testament. Okay, now paper copies, this is where I will urge you that I think that you learn the language analog, but you keep up with it digitally. And so there's a couple of things that I want to encourage you to do. Fuller Seminary has a deal on the Accordance Bible software package. And there is a package, it's called the Amber Bundle, and that you can read about that in the syllabus and all the information that's available online in the Canvas section. And I would urge you to buy these resources electronically. Now, you could buy them in paper copy. First thing you're going to need is a copy of the Greek New Testament. And there's 2 copies of the Greek New Testament that you can choose from. One is the Nestle Aland 28th edition Greek New Testament, as well as the United Bible Society's 4th edition of the Greek New Testament. Now, here's the deal. Both of these texts are exactly the same. Okay? The difference is in what we call the apparatus, which is what is beneath the text. and all the textual variants that happen down here. So the United Bible Societies is an abbreviated apparatus, and the Nestle Aland 28th edition is a full apparatus. So you can make that decision. I have both of these, and I've done a lot of reading in both of these texts. But I do most of my Greek reading now on my iPad. So whether that makes me a good person or bad person, you all can tell later on. The other thing that you're going to need in your Greek career here at Fuller, not necessarily as much for this class, although we'll talk a little bit about it in class, is the Greek English lexicon, Bauer, Danker, Arndt, and Gingrich, BDAG, and this is the 3rd edition. And this is, it's a sizey book. I still use my paper copy, but also now what I use more is I use it on my Accordance as an electronic resource. And so what I would urge you to do is to simply use the Fuller discount and make the jump into the Accordance Bible software packages, so that's what I would urge you to do, is to jump into that, and we can talk about that in class. It's not urgent that you do that right now, but it will be helpful in your career at Fuller. So before you go and you buy Bauer, Danker, Arndt, and Gingrich and plunk down $120, or before you buy one of these, consider that it might be better to make the electronic investment in Bible software, because you will be using it for your lifetime of ministry. And in my experience, that's the way that we're going to be interacting and studying and doing exegesis in texts, is using that Bible software. So at some point, you got to jump in, and this might very well be the point for you. So, all right, that's a lot. But so in summary, I would urge you to pick up these in paper copies. I'd urge you to do the flashcards, and I'd also urge you, if you're going to make the jump into Bible software, to do it sometime in this quarter. It's not urgent to do, but I would. These things are urgent. You're going to need these the first day of class. However, the text of the New Testament and the lexicon you will not need the first day. All right. Everything should be available on Canvas. We've opened that up, and at least the first 3 weeks are ready to go. You can click on those buttons on the home page, week 1, week 2, week 3. You can see what's coming up. It's also visible on the modules page, and you should be able to take a look at that. Anyway, looking forward to seeing you guys, and we will see you on Monday the 27th.